The season is finally underway for the Dalles Ducks. Welcome to the Ducks Quack Show. This is number 24, and we have a nice round table of guests tonight, beginning with the head coach, Logan Wilt. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on.
And the general manager is here, Chase Crawshaw. Congratulations on a solid start, Chase.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
The team president, Shaun Falzone, has to be excited. This is probably the team's best start since you've been with the team. I was going to say going back to that very first season, but we were 2-1 the opening weekend there, I think.
It's been since I've owned the team, it's been the best start we've had.
Yeah, it's been great, and part of the reason for that is an 0-4 forward from Simpsonville, South Carolina, Liam Norton. Welcome to the show, Liam.
Thank you for having me.
I like that. One syllable. I can remember that. Cross mid. Massaro is going to carry in. There's a no-look drop pass. Norton there. Team scores! Snapped off one. Went between the 5-hole. I think he got the 5-hole on that. But it was a beautiful drop pass by Mazzaro. And then Norton snapped off a quick one. And it's a 1-0 lead early.
Yeah. A South Carolina native, but last season made your first trip to the Midwest, playing with the Chicago Cougars. 10 goals, 2 assists for 12 points in 32 games. Was there some injuries in there or some missed games?
There were some missed games, yeah.
Yeah, that must have been kind of frustrating. Hopefully this year sees you playing a full slate of games and being a regular contributor. And I'm Jim Den Hollander, the team's media manager. Just wanted to start off quick. I kind of touched on it already, but congratulations to all of you on a 2-0 start. It doesn't maybe sound like much, but it's kind of historical for the Ducks. It's the first time they've been 2-0 in recent memory, going back, as far as I could look in the statistics, going back to about 2017, 2018. Coach Wilt, you had the benefit of a long training camp this year. I believe you guys were all there at Labor Day. This is the latest start I think the Ducks have had in some time. Was there a benefit to having that extra time to prepare?
I think so. I think it really gave the guys an opportunity to kind of bond and come together. We had a week there where we weren't touching the ice yet, so that was we spent a lot of time doing some team building activities, just making sure the guys were spending a lot of time together and really getting to know each other. And I think that's something that paid dividends for us when it came time to drop the puck this past weekend.
Okay. And also, Chase, was there a benefit to having, I know you do have a core of players that played for the Gambler Sesh. I don't know exactly how many, but did that help with your systems? Maybe they could help the other guys while you guys were introducing the kind of game you want to play?
Yeah, I would certainly say so. The guys that we brought over, they all helped contribute this weekend, and obviously, in camp helped kind of set the tone in terms of what what we expected with being able to have that couple guys that already knew what our expectations were. It made a pretty seamless transition all the way from our first off ice workouts to finally getting on the ice. Everything was the smoothest that it's been for me since getting into the junior hockey, and I do think that plays a big part in it.
Awesome. And Coach Wilt, I know one of the things, generally teams have a limited amount of time before they play their first game. Usually it's like 2 weeks or something like that.
Mm.
And I know it's not uncommon for teams to be maybe lagging a little bit behind on special teams and stuff like that. They just don't get a chance to really focus on that right away. Did you feel like you had enough time to kind of get everything worked on before you went to Coon Rapids?
I think with with the intelligent group that we have in terms of their play on the ice, I think obviously we would love to have more time to work on those things, but as I said, with the group that we had, I feel as if we had enough time to prepare on the things that we needed to prepare on going into the weekend. You know, it was a little bit of a slow start for us in that first game, but I think once we got our legs under us, I think we were kind of rolling from there. So in terms of that time, I think it was, you know, more than enough for these guys. And obviously there's still a lot more work to do and some things we need to fix and so on.
Yeah.
But overall, I was very happy with the start that we had.
Yeah, well, I won't be surprised if, you know, coaches always think they have stuff to work on and fix. You'll probably be saying that in February too.
Yep. Yep.
Liam, just as a newcomer on this team, you came over from Chicago, and obviously you have a Southeast background. How did you find camp? Did you feel like everybody got to know each other well and be ready for the season?
Yeah, I think so. I think with like not being on the ice for the first half of the training camp and everyone just like bonding together and doing like the cancer event and the parade, it just brought us a lot closer.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, and then Shaun, obviously, you've been through a number of these. Did you feel any different about the way things started out this year?
Yeah, the group of kids just seemed to be more positive. You know, we've always had good kids, but this group was more than willing to help out. They jumped in involved with the festival, the Wazawa parade, and the Wazawa festival, and it wasn't
Right.
to force anybody at all. They just went out there and helped out with you know, people unloading and loading their stuff, and just to give a hand for whatever they could do. So it got involved with the community right away. That, and then of course they helped out with Bobber's Cancer Night. And that kind of stuff. So it hasn't been, no one's had been forced to do anything. Every player's done it on their own will, and they volunteer for it, which I think is huge. It helps bring the team together. Same time, it starts bringing our community to get to know them better. And I think it's a big plus for us is that, you know, the community is what supports us, and, you know, especially when it comes to billets and that kind of stuff. And even this year at billets, I mean, Mandy has done a great job of billets, and
Yeah,
we
she's
got
doing awesome.
more billets than we've ever had. And at the same time, we got great billets, and all the kids have been good so far that at least that I know of anyways. And, you know, it's been,
Yeah.
it's been a good thing to start off.
Yeah, that's nice. They're focusing on hockey. That's what they're here for, and that's what they're doing. That's really good.
Yep.
I think, you know, when you're going through a camp or at the beginning of the season anyway, from what I remember when I coach like little kids and everything, I mean, you feel a certain way about the team when you're in camp and everything, but you don't really know until you play a game, I think. When you went to Coon Rapids, Coach Wilt, did you feel confident, or were you unsure about, you know, how things were going to go?
I mean, I'm always very confident in the guys. You know, we in the period of time that we had on the ice, the guys put in a lot of work. You know, so it was just a matter of going out there and putting it all together. It was, you know, there was always confidence that, you know, we could go out and do that. It was just a matter of showing up and doing it. And, you know, I think they did a great job and definitely exceeded a lot of expectations, I believe.
Okay. Now, heading into that first game, I saw a couple things. I don't know if I'd call it adversity, but some kind of things you had to overcome, including a slow start. You fell back 2-0, I think, pretty quick. I think it was maybe 10 minutes in. And then you kind of exploded for 3 goals.
Mhm.
Did you feel that coming, Chase, or was that just that's just a testament to the team's resilience, I think.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And, you know, once we went down 2, we knew we were out of the game. The energy on the bench was maybe the highest I've ever seen it after a start like that. You know, we did start a little bit disorganized, guys just trying to get adjusted to the division, because for most of the players, this is their first time playing in this division. It's a different style of hockey, a lot more physical. So it took some time, but the energy stayed high. Everyone remained positive. Everyone believed that they had, you know, the group, they had the confidence, they had the ability to go out and succeed. And sure enough, it showed, you know, finishing up in that first period as well as the rest of the weekend.
Yeah. Liam, as a player? I like, was there any panic at all when you went down 2-0?
No, I don't think so. I think they just had two lucky bounces, and you're like right in it right away. I think after they scored their second one, we scored a couple minutes right after.
Okay. And one of the benefits, I think Shaun maybe touched on this a little bit, but one of the benefits this season, you're in 04, Liam, and there is a couple other 04s. I think you maybe more aging out players than we've had in the past, and I think that's a real valuable thing because you've been through it, and you can maybe kind of grab the kids and say, "Look, don't panic. We got this."
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way, Shaun? It seems like the team has a little bit more maturity and experience than we've been used to in the past.
Yeah, the team is. I've seen, we've had teams in the past that have come together, and this team just did it right away. And with your senior players, that are taking leadership roles, the veterans, even talking to the players, the rookie players that came in, they'll come out and talk to me afterwards, and they'll tell me how the locker room is, how everybody's been doing great, and attitudes are just different. They feel the kids are all getting along. There's no hot shot in the locker room and thinks he's better than everybody else, right? So they're all working together, no matter if they're 04s, 08s, and I think it's been a big advantage for the coaches there and for that team to do that kind of stuff right away, And I mean, I know we have a good handful of 04s, but I mean, I think we're spread out pretty close too. I mean, we have a couple of like 2 08s and a few 07s, so we're spread out from age outs to the youngest ones in
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
guys, so.
Yeah, but I definitely think that the leadership, like the mature players, whatever you want to call them, they definitely can keep a team on track if things are kind of going off the rails a bit. Okay, so just here's some interesting things I wanted to mention before I move on. The team was 2-0 after 2 games this year. Last year, we were 1-1 after 2 games, but it included our first win ever against the Minnesota Moose, which is now I believe, the Northwest Express this year. The previous year, we lost 14 to start the season, and then we won our first game. Guess who it was against? The Blue Ox.
The Blue Ox.
The year before, we lost our first 2. Then we beat the Cougars 5-4 in overtime. 2021, we lost our first 26. And we finally picked up our first win at the Chicago tournament. And sorry to say, coaches, that was against the Fighting Irish.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and overtime.
Different era.
It's before our time.
Yeah, definitely a different era. Couple 2019, 2020 lost first 3, then defeated Steele County, and in 18-19 won the first game of the season against the Mullets, but then lost to the Mullets, and we were 3-3 after 6 games. So that's probably the closest to this season that we've come. So let's getting back to the game. I just kind of wanted to go through that stuff real quick. The 3 goals in 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Just talk about how much that must have lifted the guys on the bench, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the credit goes to those guys. I mean, you find out a lot about your team in a situation like that, and they answered the bell when they needed to. And once that first one came, everybody kind of came together and was like, okay, we can get this done, and we did. And that was kind of the vibe on the bench. And if we can stick with that throughout the year, I'm excited for things to come.
Okay. And the other thing that impressed me, Chase, was the Blue Ox did fight back and tie it twice, and both times the Ducks got the next goal. So again, that's kind of a crucial point in the game, and it just helps the momentum, and especially on the road to do that in front of unfriendly fans. It just had to feel really good.
Absolutely, and it really is just a testament to just their relentless effort, their beliefs in themselves and their teammates, knowing that no matter what's going to happen, they're not going to give up. Whether they're up 3 goals, down 3 goals, no matter whether they gave up 2 quick ones, no matter the situation, that they're going to keep on going and do what they need to do to try to win the hockey game. And it was really showcased there. It was definitely something that's very happy. We were very happy to see.
Okay. It did come down to the wire. The game wasn't clinched until the captain, Jonathan Yaksoy, the first Dane we've ever had on the team. Scored the clincher with 3 seconds to go. And that
Again, some great hockey to watch here tonight. Minnesota Blue Ox Scott controls. He'll swing it along the board, send it off the board, close to ice it will be with 5 seconds. No, they're first, coming in for the empty net goal and burying it back of the net. It was cleared by Scott, and getting there first to pick it up was John Yaxoy. Yaxoy picks up his first goal of the season for the Denmark native, and that will probably be your dagger tonight. As it
had to feel pretty good, Liam, to put that one in the books.
Yeah, it did. It was a very tiring game, very close the whole way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
It's like a physical game, or?
I think physical, like mentally, them coming back every time and us going up and finally put it away, it was relief.
Go with emotional, physical. Yeah, I guess you're kind of exhausted by the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would have been disappointing if you didn't get the W, I guess. The
Yeah,
second
long
game
1
was,
minute.
yeah. As far as the chemistry goes too, Liam, you talked a little bit about that earlier. I'm not sure who was on your line, but did you feel comfortable with your mates, and do you feel like everybody was clicking as far as the trios?
Yeah, I do. Like even just watching them practice doing like our breakouts, everyone's flowing together and everyone has team chemistry.
Okay. Are the practices competitive?
Oh yeah, I think so. Especially with like compete days, everyone's going at it 100%.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, the second game, 2-1 in each period. 2-1 first, 2-1 second, 2-1 third. So a little bit more comfortable, but still a nice to grab a sweep. We haven't had a sweep on the road in a long time. So again, that had to feel really good. Coach, I was wondering if you could talk about the goaltending a bit. Max Pierce and Lorenzo Medeiros. Pierce.
back to head. Devlin had a stick held onto for a while. Henke will give chase. It goes behind Pierce. Henke is there now, tries to center, put it out in front, sent right back behind. He wants to wind up, takes a shot, it hits fence. Nice play by Norton to deflect that. Back out half wall, back to Henke. Henke wants to wind up, take another shot. This one gets through and the save is made. And it is secured there by...
This is an 04 from Harrison Township, Michigan.
Mhm.
And he stopped, I think, 35. And Medeiros, he's a Quebecer from St. Hyacinth. Oh, he's an 08. Also with, I think, maybe 40 saves. Oh, no, 35 of 40. Oh, no, 37 of 40. I'm sorry.
We had a chance to speak with last night also in that second intermission. Breaking through now. Here comes Gierlitz. Gierlitz with 2 goals and an assist last night. Holding the zone. A wrister near side. That shot goes up, easily gloved in the...
So they were both tested, and they stopped enough to get the W. So that had to feel pretty good too.
Yeah, I think I think those guys were both great this weekend. I think they they made a lot of saves they needed to make. They bailed us out when we needed to be bailed out, and
Okay.
for the most part, I think they did a phenomenal job this weekend. They were a pretty instrumental piece in us sweeping the weekend. So I give props to those guys and the guys that played around them as well.
Yeah. The teams combined for a lot of shots. I think there might have been 80 shots or more in both games. Do you think that's the type of game it's going to be in our division this year? Kind of a wide open style?
I think the style that we play is pretty high risk, high reward.
Really?
We're an aggressive team. We want to be on the offense as much as we can. So,
okay.
we do our best to close out opportunities exiting the zone. And I think we did a good job of that this weekend. Which led to a high volume of shots. We talk about being a shot heavy team. So,
Okay.
and the guys really bought into that. So that's why you're seeing such a high volume of shots there.
12 goals on the weekend. 14 different players picked up at least a point. And Chase, there's another thing. It just shows that, everybody's contributing, and I don't know if it's all 4 lines or what, but again, that's just such a good sign, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. In the first game, we had a goal from all 4 of our lines, all 4 of our forward lines. So to have that happen in a game, it's very rare, but it just shows, again, the compete level, of course, but just the talent, the IQ, everything that it really comes as a hockey player. Just from top to bottom in the lineup, it really showcased that this weekend. And having that many guys get on the score sheet and to kind of back up that, more than just us saying it definitely is quite welcoming. It's a really good sign for things to come in the season.
Right.
As the season goes on, of course, there's wear and tear. Guys might get tired, so it's good to know that somebody can step right up and have no issues doing so.
It makes it difficult for a team, like if they're watching film or something, it makes it difficult for a team to prepare for you because you can't shut down one guy or something. It's
Exactly.
everybody's coming at you. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is. It's a great benefit that we have.
Okay. So just maybe I'll just go around the table then. If you guys maybe one more comment on the opening series, any lessons learned, anything that you may change before you head to Owatonna, or was it just pretty much everything as expected?
I think we have a lot of things that we need to refine going into this week of practice. While I think we were pretty good this past weekend, I think we have a lot more to give, and I think we can be a lot better. So it's just coming down to us kind of making some tweaks and fine tuning the things we already have in place and making sure the guys are all on the same page and knowing what the plan is going into this weekend. We're going to be doing a lot of preparation throughout the coming days of practice, just doing our best to prepare.
Base?
Yeah, just to kind of add to that, it's really just about kind of tightening the few loose bolts that we have and just really reeling things in. The baseline structure that we wanted to implement.
Right.
Had a lot of success this weekend, but there still was some flaws that need to be tightened up. So once that happens, I think we'll find ourselves in a pretty good rhythm going throughout the year. That will put us in a position to play some really, really tough hockey games all year long.
Okay, Liam?
Yeah, I think just like how Chase and Wilt were saying, come off to a harder start. Maybe not go down 2-0 first, and maybe we go up 2-0 first.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Definitely.
And Shaun?
I mean, overall, these guys are doing a great job. The team's doing well. I think it's the first time in my 5 years of being an owner that we actually filled defense before we filled forwards, which is a great thing for us. That's
Yeah, it
been
is a
one of
great
our
thing.
biggest hits in the past. I have only 1 or 2, and they got a handful of guys. Even with changing players in and out, game 1, game 2, I mean, you still had excellent players. It wasn't like you threw somebody out there that didn't belong, so it was nice to see from owner standpoint. My goal for these guys is to keep pushing forward, and with this team, as long as these guys keep playing and they give it everything, I think they got a great shot to keep going, so I'm excited.
All right, so I want to congratulate all 4 of you on a great opening weekend. You will be on the road again, one more weekend coming up. We'll have a show on that also, a preview on the Steel County Blades. And then I think you finally come home the week after that, but it's just for 1 game. Trying to think who that was against again now.
River King.
River Kings, yeah. So they're the rivalry game right out of the gate. So hopefully we get a big crowd to help us with that, because we know the River Kings are going to bring a big crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So congrats again, and we'll be back in a couple days with a preview on the Steel County Blade series. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.